Ah, okay. Oh, you got a good look up at my chin then. We are live. It is just after 1 o'clock on Thursday afternoon, and I've been having some technical issues. That's why I'm a little bit late to the party. But hey ho, we're here now, and you can see me square on instead of my chin. So let's crack on. I've changed the time today because after a bit of feedback from you, from some of you, 7 o'clock in the evening seemed to be a bit of a kind of in-between time, particularly for those that might have children. You're either trying to get children to bed or picking them up from groups and stuff like that. So I thought, okay, let's give lunchtime a go and see if that works. But of course, even if you can't make it live, the videos will always be posted on the Facebook page, so you can always catch up at a later date. So if you are watching live, put hashtag live in the comments, and if you're watching on replay, it would be great if you could put hashtag replay. That would be lovely. Right, okay. So hello everyone and welcome along. This week I wanted to have a little chat about inclusion and inclusivity, and welcoming everybody from all walks of life, no matter who you are, to the Authentic Celebrant. And I always open my weekly live videos by saying hello and welcome along, and actually I do genuinely mean that. I mean welcome to everybody who might be watching and listening in, and it's part of the values, my own personal values and the values of my business, the Authentic Celebrant, to strive and be committed to being inclusive and openly welcoming everyone, as I said, no matter who you are, what walk of life you're from, what your beliefs are, what you look like. None of it matters. What matters is that we are all human and we all deserve to be treated with respect, and in an authentic way. And so I wanted to just share very briefly today, really, a couple of the things that I'm doing in the Authentic Celebrant to try and make sure that we are inclusive of everybody. I'm really proud to be able to use now the Equality Weddings logo, and I have their guidance document right here with me. There you go, Equality Weddings. And if I haven't already, because I can't remember, on social media, I will very shortly be posting a link all about Equality Weddings. And what that means. But essentially, Equality Weddings have produced a really, really useful guide. It is particularly aimed at businesses in the wedding industry, but really it applies, I think, to all businesses and anyone, whoever you are, really. If you're running an organisation where you want to make sure everyone's included, this is a really brilliant document to look at. Now, just because I am reading one particular document, does this make me a complete expert in equality and inclusion? And does it mean that I am always 100% going to get everything right? No, it doesn't. I am human, like we all are, and we're all fallible. And there probably are going to be times that I make mistakes or I unintentionally do something that isn't quite right. And it pains me to say that because I'm a perfectionist and I would never have the intention to offend or cause offence to anybody at all. And people who know me will know that very well. But I think by having this guide, being very conscious and aware of how we approach what we say in our communications, in our emails, in our social media, etc., in our messaging, and how we actually treat our clients when we're dealing with them face to face or online, striving and committing to being inclusive as we possibly can is really, really important. So a couple of things that we are doing to make sure that we're welcoming everybody. So one of those things is checking about special requirements. So that goes for you as a client, because of course there may be requirements that you have, whether that's because you have a disability such as wheelchair use, or impaired hearing, impaired vision, or something else. It might be that your guests also may have some special requirements. Again, if you have somebody who is hearing impaired, you probably won't want them to sit at the back of the ceremony if that means that they're going to really struggle to hear what's going on, and therefore feel less involved in the event. So those are the kind of things that as a celebrant I would always be checking with my clients. First of all, do you as the client have any special requirements that I need to be aware of, that I need to be conscious of? And secondly, do any of your guests have the same, that we therefore need to plan for or plan around within the ceremony? It might be that we can do things slightly differently, mix things up a bit, or do what might be a very traditional thing in a completely different way. Because, hey, the Authentic Celebrant is also about creating your own traditions, so there's absolutely no rules about not being able to do stuff. We can always find a way. Something else that I would always do if it was appropriate is check how you prefer to be known, what name you prefer to be known by, and what pronouns you prefer. Because I think we probably, a lot of us will know that not everybody identifies in the same way, and therefore you might look at me and you might make some assumptions about the fact that I'm female, and I might prefer to be referred to as she or her, but that might not necessarily be the case, and I know that's not the case for everybody. So I would always check where appropriate what pronouns you prefer to be used and referred to as. I am currently reviewing, the third thing I should say is I'm currently reviewing the website, so checking for language that, again, as I said before, I would never intentionally seek to exclude a particular group, but I am aware that subconsciously I may be using words and language that does, and so I'm consciously going to make an effort to review my website and the language that's used, just to double check that I'm not saying anything that might make people feel excluded. And I think the other thing, when I'm talking to clients and checking various details and bits and pieces, is to also check how they prefer to be referred to. So not just in terms of pronouns and not just in terms of checking the special requirements, but actually, if you are, for example, a wheelchair user, some people may prefer to be referred to as disabled. Some people may find that word unhelpful and not like that word at all. So again, it would be for me to have a conversation with you about how you prefer things to be referred to. And the ceremony is your ceremony is yours. It should be absolutely perfect and authentic for you. So anything that I can do to help create that authenticity and that perfect ceremony, I absolutely would do my best to do. And I think the last thing actually that I just wanted to mention is that a lot comes down to trust, I think, doesn't it? And one of the values of the Authentic Celebrant and me is about trust and having a trusting relationship and building those trusting relationships. So if I was your celebrant, I would definitely be seeking to build that trust and relationship with you so that we could both have an open conversation and talk freely and honestly about what our expectations are, what your expectations are of your ceremony, excuse me, and how we can facilitate that and make it happen. So if you want to have a look at how we might be able to work together, please pop along to the website. It's www.theauthenticcelebrant.co.uk. All my services are on there. If you want to have a chat at all, because you're not sure maybe what service you're looking for, or you don't know if I'll be able to help you or not as a celebrant, then do get in touch. There's a contact form on the website. You can message me on social media, Instagram and Facebook. I am the Authentic Celebrant on both. Okay, so that's all for today. Really lovely to talk to you as always, and we'll be in touch again soon. See you.